Hello. Welcome back to A Dose of Sass with your girl Caitlin of Sass and Cellulite. I thought we needed a fun one, a little pick me up today because things are heavy right now. Post election blues are strong. And I thought instead of diving into depressing cultural topics, we could today, just for fun, do something a little bit more light and fun. So I hope you get a laugh. I hope this brings a smile to your face today. And if it does, share it with a friend. Today, I thought it would be fun to talk a little bit about my diet days. And now, what I'm not going to talk about is like the nitty gritty, what diets I tried, what workouts I did, whether or not they worked. If you think that's what we're talking about on this podcast, you're in the wrong place. But I do want to talk about some things that were like these minor secret hacks that I thought were the one thing standing between me and my dream body. When I was deep in my diet culture days, I was convinced that there was like this one tiny hack that I was going to stumble upon in a Pinterest pin or a blog or a TikTok that would just unlock. That's it. That's the key I've been missing. If only I had just fill in the blank, taken a pill, done one more crunch, stopped eating a certain food, got the right water bottle, insert minor crazy habit here, then all my problems would be solved. That would unlock my inner thin person. There's just one tiny lifestyle change standing between me and my dream body. No, there's not, first of all. Let me tell you right now. But I was so desperate for a solution that I would stumble across a video about switching from plastic cutting boards to glass cutting boards. And I'd be like, that's it. Diet starts Monday. Get rid of all my plastic cutting boards. It's over for you. And here's the thing, big fat disclaimer right here. Any of the habits and things and whatever that I'm about to describe in this episode, I'm not saying that any of them are bad or wrong or don't work. But let me be very clear. There is not one tiny thing standing between you and your dream body. And maybe you're not even worried about a thin body anymore. Maybe you're just worried about a healthy body. But let me tell you, there's not one tiny thing standing between you and a healthy body. And also, let me remind you that health and thinness aren't the same thing. So if you're pursuing thinness in the name of health, try again. Well, let's work on healthy habits. And here's the thing, it's a lot more basic than you think it is. Eat your fruits and vegetables, drink some damn water, get enough sleep, eat a variety of foods, move your body sometimes. And if you are acing all of those things, then we can get into the nitty gritty of supplements and gut health and hormones and microplastics and all these tiny little things that add up. But most people aren't doing the basics. So if you're not eating enough, your greens powder isn't going to help you. If you're not getting enough sleep, it doesn't matter what workout program you try. If you're not drinking water, putting butter in your coffee isn't going to help you. Let's check off the big buckets first. Focus on the overall. Don't get so hung up on the tiny little things in between. Okay, so now disclaimers out of the way. Let's get into some of these tiny little things that I've tried just because I think it'd be fun and you can have a laugh of whether or not you've tried these things and thought they were the secret solution. Because some of them you're like, huh? But I'll explain my thought process. So, like I said, I'm not going to talk about specific diets or workouts in this. I'm talking about things like getting an Instapot. Listen, I thought the getting an Instapot, which was like all the rage in, I don't know, 2015, 2016, if I just got an Instapot, by the way, I was in college. Where was I going to put that? Don't know. A lot of these things, by the way, are when I was in college. So that just kind of adds to the humor. If I got an Instapot, I would make so many healthy recipes. I could make a healthified version of everything. The amount of Instapot recipes I had saved on my Pinterest that I then got one for my birthday or Christmas. I don't remember which. And I thought, this is it. It's over for you. Diet starts today. Instapot forever. I used it like 4 times. And what I should have realized is at the root of this is that I don't really like to cook. So I was truthfully just looking for an easier cooking solution to a lot of things. But in the back of my mind, I was also like, if I only make Instapot recipes, then I'll only make healthy recipes. The all or nothing mindset was so strong. It didn't work. Spoiler alert. The other thing that didn't work, and by didn't work, I mean, if nothing else about my lifestyle at the time changed, then this was the one thing standing in between me and my skinniness. And it was not. Getting the right meal prep containers. I thought if I just got the right Tupperware then I'd be motivated to stick to my diet. That's the reason I'm not getting thin. I don't have the right meal prep containers. Once I get prepared and organized, then I'll be ready. Then I will start the journey. That lasts about a week. Yep. That did not last. Because the underlying thing about everything that I was trying at the time is I was dealing with binge eating disorder and I didn't know it. So no matter how I changed my healthy habits on the days I was feeling good, everything would be counteracted by my binging. So it didn't matter if I got an Instapot or the right meal prep containers or stuck to my diet Monday through Thursday. When Friday through Sunday, I was off the rails. That was the problem, not my lack of meal prep containers. Speaking of containers, definitely didn't want to use plastic ones. I found out, there's microplastics when you use plastic cutting boards. That's why I'm fat. And you might be thinking, how did you get that logic? But that's how my brain worked at the time. I thought, gosh, I just can't figure out what the problem is. It couldn't possibly be my relationship with food. It's got to be the plastic cutting board. It's got to be the Instapot that I don't have. It's got to be fill in the blank. That's why I'm fat. And once I switch to glass cutting boards, I'll get my life together. Once I move to a dorm with a kitchen so I can cook my own food and not have to go to the dining hall, then I'll get my life together. That was actually a big thing that I did. And looking back on it, I think I've shared this story in a previous episode just about my journey in general, but this was one of the pivotal moments that I look back on and realize, oh girl, you were not doing well. And this should have been a red flag because my junior year of college, had the opportunity to either keep living on campus or move to these little off-campus apartments that were like across the street. And the off-campus apartments had a kitchen. And I had roommates my freshman and sophomore year that I loved. And I had the opportunity to keep living with them if I stayed on campus or choose an apartment with a kitchen. And at the time, I had convinced myself that I was choosing my health. I wasn't. I was choosing thinness. And I chose the apartment with the kitchen over living with my roommates who I loved. And my relationship with them was changed after that. When you stop living with someone and seeing them so constantly, and you're off campus and there's a distance, and like, yes, you're still in classes together and whatever, but like it changed. And I regret that because no, getting a kitchen was not the secret ingredient. And pursuing thinness, it wasn't about health, should not have been at the sacrifice of my friendships at the time. And that should have been a red flag. And it wasn't until later. But no, moving to a dorm with a kitchen was not the one thing standing between me and my dream body. Neither was getting pH water, alkaline water delivered to my dorm room. Yeah. Nothing says high maintenance roommate like going to the water store. I was convinced, no, it can't possibly be the fact that I'm not moving my body and I'm binging every week. It's got to be the fact that I'm not drinking pH water. I probably wasn't even drinking enough water, period. It didn't matter what water I was getting. It didn't matter if it was a Brita, if it was a alkaline, if it was the water from the highest mountain on earth. That wasn't going to cure me. That wasn't the secret. That wasn't the hack I was missing. But I was convinced. You start adding all these things up, right? Once I moved to an off-campus apartment and get an Instapot and stop using plastic cutting boards and get the right meal prep containers and drink alkaline water, then all my problems will go away. Those things won't fix my body image, but that is okay because I'll be thin. Wrong, incorrect. Some other fun things I did, going to a holistic doctor. My mom got really into a holistic doctor when I was in college and still is. And I did one of those food sensitivity tests, a real one from a real medical professional, not just one of those like ones you could buy off Amazon, a real food sensitivity test. And I thought, okay, this will tell me the thing that's sabotaging me. There's probably one food that I'm eating that's going to be really obvious and I would have never known. And that's why I'm still fat. And I did the sensitivity test and I didn't have any straight out allergies, thankfully. They were marked like red, yellow, and green. Green foods were like, your body has no problem with it. At this point, actually, inflammation was not really like a hot topic yet, but I think this is what the test was looking for. So what foods are going to make me inflamed? What foods are going to help me, like make me hold on to weight, whatever. anything in the yellow food category were things I should try to avoid. And something that was in the yellow food category, I don't remember all of them now. And thankfully, I don't have the results anymore. It was pineapple. Pineapple was in my yellow foods of things that I should probably avoid. I don't know why that's the one that stuck out to me, but I thought, oh, that's it. I've just been eating too much dang pineapple and my body doesn't like it. Homegirl, you probably ate pineapple twice a year. What do you mean? No, eating pineapple is not the one thing that's ruined you. But let's add it to the pile. Let's add it to the list of things that once compounded will be my secret to success. Okay. Also on the list is going to therapy. Yeah. Yeah. Here's the kicker. When I started therapy for the first time when I was in college, it was because I wanted to be thin. And I thought that there was some mental block going on up here. Why couldn't I just stay motivated? Why couldn't I have discipline? Why couldn't I want to be healthy like everybody else? Why couldn't I want to be a runner? Why couldn't I fill in the blank? I thought it was a mental disorder that I was fat. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. I've realized very quickly that, actually, it's my relationship with food and body that is the problem I need to address, not my physical body itself. I even started this book and it was kind of like a precursor to intuitive eating. I didn't know what intuitive eating was yet at the time, but I started reading this book that my therapist gave me, and I'm going through it like, all right, where's the rules? This is the diet. This is the next thing I'm going to try. This has got to be the one. My therapist gave it to me. It's got to be the one. And I'm going through the book and I'm going back to her and I'm like, this is fine, but where are the rules? And she's looking at me, waiting for the gears to work in my brain. And I'm getting to the point where I go, oh, it's not about the rules, is it? Interesting. I hadn't considered that before. What if it's not actually about food rules and how many times you work out? What if that actually is what's hindering me? Hadn't considered that one. Don't like that. Actually, that means now I have to do inner work, and I don't want to do that. I would like a set of rules that somebody else gives me, and then if it doesn't work, I can blame them. Yeah. Sound familiar? If it's not clear yet in this episode, there is not one diet, one program, one set of rules, one challenge that's going to fix your relationship with food and body. That's on you. That's some inside brain work. And it's not as fun. It's not, because then it's on you. But I promise it's possible and you're not alone and it's worth it. Oh my gosh, it's so much better having rebuilt my entire foundation of food and body than some crazy set of rules and program and lifestyle that I have to follow. I said it at the beginning and I'll say it again. Drink some water, get some sleep, eat your fruits and vegetables, and move your body. Those are the rules. Those are the instructions. And you go, Caitlin, those are so vague. What do you mean? Of course we all do that. No, we don't. Because if we all did that, then we wouldn't have 10,000 million solutions being sold to you on the internet. The basic info isn't sexy. It's not marketable. So instead, I'm going to convince you that this cellulite pill is the solution. Never mind the fact that cellulite is completely normal and doesn't need to go away and isn't a sign of bad health. If you feel bad about it, I've got a solution. Catch yourself when you're chasing all of these things, going to therapy, getting a food sensitivity test, getting an Instapot, moving to a habit, blah, 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 fill out the list, insert your own. If those were truly the key to health, the key to thinness, the key to whatever, everyone would have them. We would all know it. We would all be doing it by now. And that's not even addressing the societal determinants of health, access, income, location. There are so many other foundational things that have to be in place before you need to even worry about a GLP-1 natural supplement. Okay. I've got a couple other fun ones. I feel like I meant for this episode to be like, hee hee ha ha, that's so crazy. Why did she think that getting an Instapot was going to make her skinny? And then I just got on the soapbox, but I hope you're having a laugh. Let's have a little bit more of a laugh. Also, getting an air fryer, I thought, was the key. Along the same lines of Instapot. I think the air fryer is the Instapot of today. If I get air fried recipes, That's going to be so much healthier. Mind you, I'm not even making that many fried foods in the first place. So I don't really think that there's a big benefit difference if I put my chicken nuggets in the oven versus the air fryer. Sure, it's probably a difference if I was putting it in like fry oil versus the air fryer, but I'm not ever doing that. I've never fried something at home in my life. French fries have the same nutritional value whether or not you put them in the oven or the air fryer. I don't think the method is the problem here, but I was convinced. I was convinced the air fryer, that's it. That is my secret ingredient. That is the secret hack between me and thin Caitlin. The other one, birth control. Now, I'm not going to get in the nitty gritty on birth control because that probably is messing up my body in all sorts of ways. But I've been on the pill since just before I got married. And I had already gained weight prior to this. I was already dealing with binge eating disorder prior to this, but I remember getting on birth control and gaining probably some more weight. From the birth control, I don't even actually know. But I had a conversation with my mom and she was like, it's got to be, that's got to be it. Meanwhile, I'm hiding candy wrappers in the trash. But it's got to be the pill. And it might be. Okay, I'm not a scientist. But then a couple of years ago, I was peer pressured to get off the pill because that's got to be the thing. And truthfully, this was like in a bad body image moment. I was seeing a lot of this hype around hormones and balancing your hormones and hormonal birth control is super bad for you. And I went, oh, they're so right. I don't want to, I'm never going to diet again. I'm never going to do some crazy workout program. But what if I just went off the pill? What if I went off hormonal birth control and I lost weight? Then that's what my body was meant to do. I didn't try to do that. But in this back of my brain, did I want that to be the goal? Yeah, I was struggling that day. I can admit it. Like, truthfully, that was 100% peer pressure, diet culture pressure. And I got a non hormonal copper IUD for about a month. Let me tell you, worst pain of my life getting that thing in there. And immediately all my acne came back real strong because that's the one thing the pill has done great for me is it's managed my acne pretty well. And I went, this is not worth it. This is not worth it. Absolutely not. Get this thing out of me. I'm going back on the pill. The hormones, they've been in my body years enough. We'll deal with them later. Possibly, maybe losing a little bit of weight from going off the pill is not worth the acne on my face. Like, that's where I was at. I kind of had this, like, Caitlin, what the heck was this all about? I stopped lying to myself. I was honest with myself and said, no, you wanted to get off the pill because you thought that it was keeping you fat. And you thought that maybe now that you've healed your relationship with food and body, now you could change your body. That was a moment of weakness. It was, and it wasn't worth it. Now, if I had stuck to it, could have changed my body? I don't know. Probably. Who knows? Don't care. I recognize now my true intentions around that. And I will probably go off of the pill at some point because Keaton and I want to have a family someday. But I'm not going to do that in pursuit of thinness. Oh, another thing that the holistic doctor told me was the problem was microwave popcorn. First of all, moment of silence for the period of time I spent not eating microwave popcorn. Sad days, sad, sad days. Now, I was introduced to stovetop popcorn and putting coconut oil on it and salt. That is delicious, but it's not as convenient as microwave popcorn. Using a microwave in general, I was like convinced was the thing that's making me fat. It's probably given us all cancer, but hey, we can't live without them these days. Neither can your cell phone. So pick your poison. And for me, I'm no longer giving up microwave popcorn. It's back in my life strong. Listen, these are just a few, just a few of my personal examples of things that I was like, that's it. I found it. I got the golden ticket. Ticket to the skinny train. Passenger one, me. And again, none of these things are inherently bad or wrong or don't work. If you did all 10 of those things I just listed, I don't even know if it's 10. Would they affect your health? Probably. But I promise they're not the one thing standing between you and health, you and your dream body. If you catch yourself scrolling and coming across some kind of supplement or hack or swap or gadget that's being sold to you as a solution for a problem that you didn't even know existed, don't even know if you have, that's diet culture working for you. That's marketing. They don't want your health. They want your money. Notice how almost all of the solutions I listed were me spending my money on something? That's how they get you. Let's stop falling for it. Focus on the habits you actually can control because they're good for you, whether or not they result in your physical body changing, whether they result in losing weight, whether they result in changes you can notice in the mirror. Doing the work to unlearn your mindset around food and body and relearn a guilt-free approach, a confident approach, is not noticeable in the mirror. It's up here in the brain. But that's the true transformation. Is there a benefit to drinking out of a stainless steel water bottle versus a plastic one? Probably. But that doesn't mean you need to kick yourself for drinking out of plastic water bottles for most of your life. And if you're like, Caitlin, okay, I get it. It's about the inner work. It's not about all these tiny little micro solutions that are being sold to me on the internet. But what do I do? Buying a glass cutting board seems like an easier thing to do than addressing my internal turmoil. And it is, but it's not lasting. Okay. And buying a glass cutting board isn't going to mean anything if you're still out of control around foods, scared of being perceived, hate what you see in the mirror, can't take a compliment, are afraid to go to social events because you don't know what kind of food they're serving. Where do you begin? I've got a few episodes. Go back to my How Are You So Confident episode if body confidence is the thing you're looking to address first. Go on to Cleaning Out Your Closet episode and the Life Beyond the Diet Restrict Cycle episode. Those are all going to be your baby steps for how to stop this endless search for thinness. Okay? There is life beyond your next little solution. I hope this was the pep talk you needed today. I hope you got a smile. I hope you felt like, oh yeah, I went through that phase too. And remember, you're allowed to just exist. You're more than a body. Health is not a moral obligation. And it's okay if your body has changed. All right? I love you lots. Have a good week. It's almost Thanksgiving. So the next episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about holidays and food and body and comments and family and all of that nonsense. So stay tuned for that. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.